我在北京参观过八达岭长城，但是我没有走过这种保存的这么好却没有大肆维修的长城，这是第一次。
啊，对，我们那边跑了。
30年前，这个是我的父亲，这个是我的哥哥。
Yeah, beautiful ruins.
我在北京参观过八达岭长城，但是我没有走过这种保存的这么好，然后却没有大肆维修的长城，这是第一次。我希望它不是最后一次。
啊，那看那背包那里呢？
那是修长城的人的工棚，他们住在那。啊，你们修长城施工的，上来住多长时间啊？
住，那时候3年了都修了。
3年？平时都住在这儿？
哎，冬天就回去了，夏天来。
冬天回去，夏天来。有多少人修这个？
咱有个20多个。
那你们上来吃饭怎么办呢？
那边有火房，水有那种的水管。
也是从底下接上来的。
对，淡水管那加锁了的。
哦，电有没有？
电有的。
也是拉电线上来。
哦。Good, well, good work， 辛苦了。
哦，辛苦了，师傅，辛苦，拜拜，
谢谢，再见。
You always hear about the Great Wall of China, like you always hear about the Grand Canyon, or you always hear about the North Pole. But then you come up here and you walk, and it's impossible not to think about all those thousands of lives as you're walking on what they built. Extraordinarily difficult carrying these bricks up from the bottom of the valleys. It must have taken lifetimes to pull together. Yeah, I'm overwhelmed. It's emotional to be up here. I think it's a day that I will always remember. A once in a lifetime day.
If there's anyone who knows the land, it's Wang Xianli. He's dedicated over half of his life to Jingguling Station. The 54-year-old is a forest guard. Today, we're heading out on patrol with his team, which is a real privilege given that the park is not yet open to the public. The forest guards get to work, looking for traps and any signs of illegal activity, collecting animal samples for research, and recording information that helps give an idea on the welfare of the environment.
刚才那个耗子，这是它的印儿，就来回这钻这窟窿里了。兔子，哎，这是兔子，看，山兔子。 它的粪便吗？这个？是黄鼠狼嘛？哎呦，是不是挺会呀？是黄鼠狼。啊，我感觉黄皮子。
Yellow skin, yeah.
就叫
yellow skin. Yeah, they catch the rabbits.
Okay.
Maybe we'll get lucky and see one. 你想看一个？
打兔子。那走了挺长时间了。 这是往那边走的。这个猪啊，这个猪得300多斤，骨个子。
哇，
骨个子就是雄猪
啊，没有啊，
它可以跳。就这种猪，
怎么看是雄猪这是？
它一个单个，它就自己溜
啊，就自己走就是雄猪。
我也能看，有前撒尿前大，说不定它刚那尿离我说不定500-600米、400-500米就闻。 要风一刮过来，一股烧起辣红味，熏鼻子。
哦，
哎，记录一下子，足迹，野猪，大约24小时，数量1个，8.34。啊，对，我们那边跑了。
Mr. Wang may not have a degree from a university or be trained in a lab, but I think his years of field knowledge are valuable in terms of being able to sense the landscape through his mind and body, just as I'm sensing it with every footfall. We had come to the former trading hub of Ya'an to learn about the lives of the tea pickers, but we found something else brewing.
Okay. 客人来哦。
Yeah.
这是您的诗居吗？
Yeah.
哦。
That's good to know.
His name was Yu Chengshang, and he was larger than life. A gentleman in his 70s who lived in a temple on a hill where he wrote poetry.
He said this time.
都在这里。I know there is. 我给你报出来，你看吗？
好的，好的。
我给你报出来，你看一下。
Okay. All right.
All right.
So I said, how many poems have you written? He said, I have 250 kilograms. He was talking about the papers weighed 250 kilograms of poems. He measured his poetry in kilograms.
2, then 2.
Oh.
Oh.
谢谢 Thank you so much. 谢谢 Thank you. It's very nice. 谢谢了。
So your bag became heavier?
It's filled with poetry now, and poetry doesn't weigh anything. Poetry makes you lighter. Uncle Yu didn't just write poetry. In fact, he was steeped in culture and tradition.
你看，莲花刀就从这里开始了。黄龙缠腰，天地颠碎。好，1。
Wow.
就是。
保罗先生说你是特别棒。
Number one, I'm surprised, you don't have like a stream of young students from Yan coming up to the temple. This is like a movie, right? The old kung fu master living at the temple and coming up here to spend, a few days to train.
我就是在这寺庙里，也确实是在雅安来说，在武术界方面，我还是这个。
It's too almost superhuman that there'd be some old guy who's kind of living a bit like a hermit, away from his family, and he was doing martial arts every single day and also writing poems every single day. I found people like that, and those are the best stories about China, to me, that kind of capture these remarkable individuals who have their own mission, their own vision, their own philosophy, because they're like teachers, right? They're teachers to me, and if I can do my job right, they could be teachers to my readers as well. During a reprieve from trekking through parched gullies of the famous Yellow Earth Plateau in Shanxi, we chanced upon a unique migration. Xie Donglian and her family are not your average beekeepers.
Where do they sleep?
你们住在哪儿？晚上在哪儿睡觉？出门就
自己搭帐篷。
自己搭帐篷。
They are real nomads.
Nomadic beekeeping is an ancient practice. The family travels with hundreds of beehives cross-country in search of flowers in bloom.
那你们最远能到哪儿？
云南也去过，东北也去过。
东北也去过，在一个地方一般停留多久啊？
那个就花次就是1-20天吧。
哦，只有不到1个月。啊，不到1个月。
What struck me is how much knowledge Chinese farmers have about how to interact with the earth that I hope is somehow recorded for the future before these human libraries disappear. Chinese farmers have lessons about sustainability that I think would be very valuable for the entire world. A third of the world's food production depends on bees. But with bee populations on a decline due to disease, pesticides, habitat loss, and climate change, being attuned to nature's cues is vital for the survival not just of the bees, but for humankind.
就最困难的是什么？
最困难的，最困难的，总体说起来就是不留米最困难。
那个山上那个花是不留米，那个最困难。
哦，为什么花不留米呢？
啊，那个花有的时间那个花那个要前期呀，那个吃我高地呀，啊，那个前期干旱的那会儿有时间，有的时间就有的对一点点就不留米。哎，对，再有那个正好那个开花了。 刮大风的，风一刮风，
花粉会毁了，会吹掉了。
风刮的风把那个花的那个米吹掉了。
The Forever Walk is a storytelling project whose mission is to remind readers around the world that you are part of a larger chain of stories. You can see that the challenges of the people in China are not much different than your own challenges. The joys of the people of China are not much different from your joys. And that in today's world, more than ever, more than any time in the 300,000 years of our species, their story is important because it's a global world.
And walking is a very humbling way to move through the world because you are vulnerable, because you are kind of throwing yourself at the mercy of strangers and of the weather and of the land. And I think people see that and they respond to it in a positive way, with generosity. We didn't know anybody. As is often the case when we're walking into a new community. We spent a few nights with a family that was keeping a few rooms open in their house. They just took me and my walking partner, Yang Wendo, under their wing and made us members of the family.
I have pencil, I have a book, I have beautiful soup and you.
And we felt like, you know, maybe cousins or brothers who shared not only their roof and their beds and their eating and their wonderful cooking, but also told us about their lives, you know, how much this part of China had changed in just their own lifespan.
We 那边山地那边，我们铺子上只有18户，每家每户1个人有这，18个人。30年前，这个是我的父亲，还有这个是我的哥哥，这是我们娃娃，我们4口人。这个是我老婆，这个是我大的儿子，这个小的儿子，我们一家人嘛。
他要的是真实，他就是想体验一个真实的中国。我觉得作为我一个他的徒步伙伴来讲，我也就像一座桥梁一样，我希望能够把它和我们中国就是最真实的自然景观也好、历史人文也好、民俗也好，就是能够连起来，让他可以看到这种声音，而且通过它传递到全世界。
So I have this idea, once I reach the tip of South America, which is my destination, when I reach there, I'm going to try to fly everybody who has this connection to the tip of South America to walk together to the Antarctic Ocean, to close the circle of the journey together. That sounds like it's coming back to kind of a poetic closing of the project, but it's more than that. It's a reaffirmation of our friendship and a lifelong bond.